Good morning. Hi. Welcome to my Reading Nook again. Okay, it is Wednesday the 15th of April and it is 6:30 in the morning and I'm in my pajamas. As you can see, it's still cold. I'm under the blanket in my nook. And today we are going to be reading Truly, Madly, Weirdly, Oopsies by Victoria Williamson, courtesy of Silver Thistle Press. So grab your coffee, grab a book, and then come and join me as we read this today. It's 4 stories. This shouldn't be too long. It's not 300 pages even. So, by not too long, I mean today. So I can read it one day. This is what fell out of there. Can you see? At this ring light, sorry, it's not my fault. I need the ring lights. There. There. So we're starting on Shrink Wrap. Sure. This thing is weird. It doesn't sit so liquor on my head. It's big. It's warm. But look, see, I just move my head and then we get all these clumpy clumps, okay? It's now 7:30. I've read the first story, Shrink Wrap. Okay, look, the writing is easy to read. It's uncluttered. It doesn't do... There's nothing... Blah. It's uncomplicated. It's not flowery. It's not prose. It's just easy to read, okay? So Shrink Wrap. About this woman and her family. Marie, okay, she's had 2 families. The first husband left and she had 2 kids from there, a son and a daughter. Devon, who's out of the picture, and the ex-husband's out of the picture. I don't know what happened to them. Then there's the daughter, Veronica, or as she likes to call herself, Ash. She's got tattoos and stuff, and she, I don't know, is estranged from her mom. The mom is married again, Marie, and she has husband Ryan, and they have 2 kids, and they're lovely, 6 and 4. Also a girl and a boy. Okay, so her second family is all perfect and happy and everything, and la la la. And then Ash comes along and needs help from her mom. So, you know, a stepfather doesn't like her and the stuff and the energy that she brings because she's like ungrateful and demanding and entitled and all sorts of things. So something happens. Oh, Ryan's father also is sick and needs care. So Marie has to look after him during the day sometimes. And the kids. So at some point, the father, William, breaks his hip or falls down the stairs, doesn't break his hip, but falls down the stairs and needs help, and she has to rely on Ash to babysit. And then later on, it turns out into a more permanent position, and then her vision of her family starts to get less than perfect, less than golden, because the rot, the infection from Ash is infecting her perfect little family. But in the meantime, when Ryan first met Marie, she was going through some mental health issues, and she was wrapping everything up. She has a horries. She has a fear of things going rotten. She wants to preserve the food. She wants to make it last longer than it does last. So she would shrink wrap it or put it in Tupperware But Ryan had to take her was in the hospital with her. She was committed because she had a problem. But anyway, so as the story progresses, and this is horror we're talking about, it's actually subtle, I think. It's like really glaring at the end when you get to the thing, like in your head, but it's not verbalized. It's not like Saw and things like that. Anyway, so it turns out that she became, all of these things with Ash started to aggravate her issues again, and so she started shrink wrapping things, individual sandwiches, half a sandwich, each shrink wrapped, then wrapped in a bag. Okay, so she would make tons of sandwiches, and each individual sandwich was wrapped into a wrap, and she shrink wrapped the kids' clothes and the stuffed toys after they washed it, so that they could preserve it, be clean. And of course, Ryan is noticing this, and she's saying, no. And eventually, her obsession or whatever takes over completely her life. And at the end, when the police pull her out of the house, she's been living a life entirely made up of herself. So she shrink wrapped the kids and her husband, killed her daughter, and she was vacuuming in one of her minds, but in the other mind she was making the activities with the kids. So she was drawing the pictures, she was making the animals with the clay, she was cooking for her family. So it was all a whole mental thing. It's very psychological, it can be quite scary. Okay, look, I did enjoy the story, but it was predictable. I did kind of think she's going to wrap the house, and I was thinking, wrap the whole house around. And I was thinking, no, but she didn't do that. She did wrap kids up, but I thought that was what she was going to do in the end. But though, this woman is a tati, let me tell you. So I really enjoyed that. And now I'm going to go on to the next one, called Lilac and Old Lace. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to continue reading. Oopsies. Oops. Sorry, see. And then I'm going to obviously get ready for the day later, but now, yeah. Reading. So it is now about 10 to 11. So yeah, I know it's a long time. I didn't take all the time to read. I had to do stuff. Okay, so I finished the second story called Lilac and Old Lace. Oh, by the way, if I will try and link the unboxing video up, yeah, where I got this book in. So now we got some stuff. With the unboxing video, 4 things to be exact. And I wanted to know what the relevance was. So this basket of foodstuffs and things, there's foodstuffs 1 to 3, okay, and then there's a little teddy bear, and then there's a little man inside here in the basket, and it's all shrink wrapped. That I understand now. Story 1. Cool. And then story 2 is about a dress, which is very cool, which is where this little potpourri thing comes in. Isn't that cute? And the whole bag, the whole thing smelled like this when you open it up. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so now we're on the third story, or going on to the third story, and I can't wait, there's 2 more items to see. Okay, so Lilac and Old Lace. Twins, what's their name? Scott and... what's his name? What's her name? Sorry, see. Fiona. Scott and Fiona are twins, and their great uncle died, and their great uncle left them his house, whatever. So they go to the house and they have a look at it, and it's all not worthwhile. The mold is like 3 inches thick, and everything is falling apart, and it's like he's a hoarder. So everything's in boxes, and the room's all piled up with boxes and stuff. So they go through the whole house, despairing, when they find this one room that's immaculate. It's not even dust anywhere, and it's been decades, okay? And then they're looking through stuff that they can sell, obviously. And Fiona finds the dress at the bottom of a trunk made of lilac and lace, and it's the most beautiful thing that they ever saw. So Scott wants to sell it and maybe get some money for it, but Fiona wants to wear it because it's beautiful. So as the story goes on, Fiona's wearing the dress, and then Scott has a dream. Scott has a dream about Maeve, who's the owner of the dress, the great uncle's stepdaughter, and you must save me from the between. And you must put my dress in my grave with lilacs and a small sacrifice. This is very spoiler heavy, just in case I didn't mention that before. So yeah, one thing leads to another, and things go on and on. So it's actually very interesting. You can see things develop. Yeah. But at the end of the story, you think that, maybe it was a little issue that he had going on. She comes for him. So the ending isn't a happy one for anybody. This is really fun to read. The writing, as I said, is very easy. It's very, very, very easy. So I'm absolutely loving it. I'm not a horror fan. I didn't used to be because it gave me nightmares. But I'm enjoying this. There's been a few horrors that I've been enjoying, so this is cool. So on to, you see, it's called The Picture of Happiness. So I'm assuming that this is the relevant one. Haha. Yes, okay, and the fourth one is for the full story. Okay, I got it. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So, before we continue, what are you reading right now? Or what did you finish? What did you find delicious? Let me know down in the comments below, because we're always looking for new books to read. See you on the other side. Okay, hi again. It's about 10 to 12 now, and I wanted some fresh air, so I came outside for a bit. Beautiful day. Oh, never mind, wrong space. The Picture of Happiness. Okay, the guy goes through a divorce, and he has to find a place of his own. But because his ex-wife had a baby with a neighbor, so he moves into a little dingy little flats, and he finds in the drawer an envelope, and in the envelope is a photo of a happy couple, but not so a happy couple. So anyway, after he found it, things happen while he's sleeping. So he gets sleep paralysis. He wakes up, he can't move. He can only hear, and he can see. He can't move his mouth or his body or anything. And then there's water dripping from the photo, and then something comes out of it and starts to antagonize him. But anyway, he wakes up, so he keeps thinking it's a dream. And then things got out of work, and his mother's trying to get him to go back to his ex-wife and his baby because she's depriving him of a grandchild, etc., etc., and so on and so forth. But as it's going on, every night this apparition is coming to him in his sleep. He can't move, he can't do anything. And on the third time, she has relations with him of the sexual nature. And then after that, she seems to have disappeared. So 9 months goes past, and he decides that he's going to go back to his wife and raise somebody else's kid as his own, because then at least he won't be alone, and at least he has a family. And just as he's packing up his last few things, she comes back. And he's not asleep, he's awake. And she brings his abomination of a child to him for suck. And then he thought, but he's kind of the guy that's like, doesn't like confrontation, so it's like he'll take the easier route. Like it's easier to just lie down and die, kind of a thing. So that's how that story ends. Okay. They're getting progressively scarier, I think, for me. Okay. And now I've got one more story to go, and it's the longest one. So it's almost 100 pages. And it's called The Model Partner. And the thing that I showed you just now, the picture thing, that's from here, from the Picture of Happiness. Now the next one is called The Model Partner. So the other one, the last little trinket is connected to that, and I'll show you that later. So yeah, let's go continue reading, shall we? Yeah, so hi again. Something's happening on my computer. Just hold on a sec. I don't know what's going on. And my dog keeps wanting to come in. Okay, so now it is 4 o'clock. I finished this a little bit earlier. The last story, The Model Partner, is nearly 100 pages long. Okay, so I took my time with that one. And this fourth little trinket will make sense. This is pretty cool. That was such a nice box. Do check that video out. I did link it up above earlier in the video. But you could check it on my timeline anyway, on my feed. It's like 2 videos back, I think. The Model Partner. Okay, so now we're following Moira, who is 53 years old, and she's been a spinster her whole life, not by choice, but she's never been married, never had a boyfriend, yada yada yada. And as part of the church, the widowers, the ladies, the widows, whenever there's a new widow available, or after the few months that are needed for grieving, then all the eligible women gang up on the poor man and try to get him to pick a new wife, you understand? And Lizzie, her best friend, keep telling Moira that she needs to go to the new guy, Rupert's. Anyway, she thinks about it, and it happens by circumstance. It didn't. Okay, no, it didn't. She did take a chance, and it happened. But Rupert likes to build models, model town, model train sets, model whatever. So he's got a model of the town Penton, and everything is like an exact replica, which is fine. And then she sees something in the model the first time he shows it to her, and more spoilers, this one's a bit of a trigger warning for animal harm, but anyway, she sees something that looks like a cat and blood, but when she looks closer, it's just clay and paint that was on the floor that made a mess. Anyway, when she gets home, her cat's dead, guts everywhere, and she finds a sharp carpenter knife next to the cat. So obviously, 2 and 2 together, you would think it's Rupert because he makes crafting and and so on and so forth. Anyway, so things go on, and we convince ourselves, and then the best friend dies mysteriously by one of the monuments falling onto her from the church and crashes her skull in. I don't know how that in the meantime. I understand. Then later on, as they were getting ready to get married, and they had the engagement party at the vicarage, the Reverend wanted to show Rupert the modeling that they were doing on the new house, so that you can see what kind of work they did. And of course, the Reverend dies there. This is very, very Final Destination kind of a thing. The description, I mean, it's not actually, but anyway. And then, yeah, so it turns out that the model, Rupert, isn't what he thinks it is. Now, Rupert, by the way, most important is, he's recently widowed. They were in town for 7 months, and then they only joined the church later, and then they were in the church 1 month, and then she died. And they were together for like over 30 years or something. So it turns out that the ex-wife haunted the model because she hated it. She hated it all her life. She begrudged him the time that he spent on it. So she haunted that, and she was killing people using the model. And he was trying to cover it up, and Moira was getting the wrong idea. But of course, the ending isn't. This one wasn't predictable. I thought one thing, but it happened to be something else. And then I thought another thing, and that also happened to be something else. So the last one is not predictable. I did enjoy that. Look, the stories are... It is horror. And I mean, the third one was scary, but the last one was kind of more of a mystery, like what's going on, can we figure it out? And then the first one was just... It was, ooh, this woman's sick, kind of a thing. I see where this is going. The second one was also more of a ghost story, but through all outs, it is a story of love that, went wrong in a very bad way. The interconnecting threads is love, whether it's love between a man and a woman, or husband and wife, or someone who's been together a long time. Now let's see. The first one was love for family, familial love. Okay, so she loved the family so much she wanted to preserve them. The second one is that her was about the dress, but Maeve, who died, the owner of the dress, was possessing the dress, but not in a way for both of them, but we only see Scott, and I don't know why. How she died. Oh, she died with what do you call it? Love, that taboo, a banished love. She wasn't allowed to love the guy because she was like middle class society and he was lower class plumber, so they weren't allowed to mingle. So anyway, she died in a fire while she was visiting him that time, and so on and so forth. And she wanted to be resurrected, so he was learning to be a plumber, so I think there was a correlation between the two. I don't know. But anyway, the third one is that they were married. Right? And not Scott. Scott was in number 2. Come on. What is his name? Saul. Okay, moves into the new apartment, and then he finds a photo of the married couple. Now there's a problem because he had a trophy wife and she was like kind of forced into the arrangement. You could tell that, and then I started haunting him. But what happened was that he ended up killing her in the bathtub while she was pregnant. So she didn't. So he kind of killed both of them, and she just wanted to be a mother for her baby. She wanted the baby to live, or something along those lines. And then the last one is that she was hoping for a husband, but the ex-wife was hanging on too much. So all of the love that went crazy evil. So yeah, so where's the line? Well, we all know, you can clearly see what the lines are, but where's the line? This is really good. I want to thank Silver Thistle Press for sending me a copy. I'd like to send the author Victoria Williams for sending me a copy, and that box is so cute. The trinkets, they were so awesome. Do check out my video, it's linked earlier. The unboxing video, and then I'm rating this 4 stars. So do go and get yourself a copy. So what were you reading during this video? Let me know. inquiring minds and all that. Thank you so much for, visiting me again in my little reading nook. And I'll see you in the next Reading Nook Sessions. Bye from Cape Town.